Hey everybody, good morning. So by popular request, I brought Cressi in here this morning. And she is super mellow, as usual. So I don't know that we're gonna get much from her, but this is Cressi, our African Gray. And I wanna say she is about 9 years old. And we're getting some packages. Hopefully I don't have to sign for any of them. You hear that? Okay, don't have to sign for any of them. But yeah, so this is Cressi. She's our only African Gray. She was actually our first free-flighted parrot. So when we first got into free flying, everyone said that African Gray is really hard to train for free flight. So we thought, what the heck, we'll start with an African Gray. And if we can do it with her, then we'll have the confidence to do it with any birds that we possibly get after her. So yeah, she's our first. She was so much fun. And one of the things I love about her is, like, overall, she's super mellow in personality and characteristics, obviously. But when she goes free flying for certain flights, she makes this crazy celebrating noise. And it's just really cool to hear her like celebrate and get excited and crazy, because obviously it doesn't happen that often. So when it does, it's awesome. But yeah, so she's actually more of Dave's bird than she is me, but she's great with both of us. But if he's around, I'm definitely number 2. So yeah, and it was interesting because I was the one that wanted an African Gray because they're so popular. Everybody has them and talks about them. And I was just like, what's the fuss about with these African Grays? So yeah, I wanted one, and Dave didn't really want one. And then we got Cressi, and she like adores him. And then Dave wanted another rose-breasted cockatoo, so we got Bandit. And that was supposed to be Dave's bird, and of course everyone knows Bandit's more mine, so it's just funny how they pick their people. But luckily, obviously both of them are great with both of us, but there's definitely a little bit of favoritism. So yes. Oh, it's super cool to see where everybody is writing in from. Argentina, that is amazing. Capri and I, my daughter, were watching this TV show called the 72 Deadliest Animals in Latin America. It's been super interesting, especially because we started watching when we were in Hawaii with our Brazilian client. So a lot of the animals were from Brazil, which was just crazy. And I like came into the kitchen every morning and I was like, did you know that mosquitoes kill 725,000 people each year, and mostly in Brazil, and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, I'm like Miss Random Facts now because I watch documentaries on animals. But I did download a cute animal one because Capri was like, this is kind of scary, Mom. I was like, sorry. It's interesting, though. And hello from South Africa, California, Netherlands, holy moly. So Cressi is a girl. She is a female. And she's named after the scuba gear, Cressi scuba gear, because I got Cressi scuba gear. So we just thought it was a really cool name. But yeah, this is pretty much Cressi videos. She just hangs. And she's really sweet though. Hey Messerton. Maybe I can get her to wave for you guys. Hold on. See if I have some treats hidden around here. I keep pine nuts around here, but then Capri finds them and she eats them. So that's awesome. And then I find that my stash is out. Can you wave for everybody? Yeah. Good girl. That's Cressi's wave. So, yeah, and Cressi actually, when she started free flying, she learned to fly with macaws, so she's a big fan of flying with the macaws. She does talk. She says, I know, it was a guy dropping off some packages.
Can I get them?
Sure. Yeah. I don't remember what I was saying. Do you remember? I think this happens all the time, so hopefully, yeah. Oh, does she talk? So yeah, she talks. She says, Cressi, and then she mimics pretty much everything Bandit says, but in a really robotic voice, and she gives a kiss. So she's a Congo. Let me see. So we teach all the trick training stuff that she does. We teach it all in our trick training course from our website, birdtricksstore.com. I'll show you a few of them. the wave can be taught a few different ways. It can be taught using capturing, where the bird just does a natural head scratch and you capture it, or you can teach them via the step up. So do you want to show some tricks? Good job. She's going to spin around. Get my whole stash out here. I'm surprised she's training because she already had breakfast. There's the wave. There's the head shake. If you guys saw the head shake, no. And then she also goes upside down. So these are all things we teach on our trick training course. It's just a really good way. Like, I trick train Cressi because, like I said, she favors Dave a little bit more than me. So if I trick train her, it just helps our relationship a lot more. Kind of try to meet the same level, although it's a little bit like this. And this is Dave. So yeah, but trick training really helps keep a bond. And then also, like, strangers can cue her to do tricks and they don't have to be hands-on, be worried about getting bitten or anything like that. So yeah, Karen, so I trained a Alexandrian parakeet who was not good at stepping up, was really fearful of hands. I trained him how to wave using capturing, so that works too. It's cool. So yeah. What is going on with you? Are you getting hormonal? She is getting super hormonal. Droopy wings. That little noise, I don't know if you guys can hear that noise, but she is definitely our most hormonal bird. So as long as it doesn't escalate, I can keep her here. Otherwise, I'm going to have to trade her out. So if I have to take Cressi back into the aviaries, who do you guys want me to bring back next? Let me know. Petrie is a great name. He's 3, he does high five, shake a foot, head shake, dances, kisses. I'm now teaching him to wave. That's awesome. That's super cool. Yeah, I try to teach all of our birds like the same behaviors, but obviously some of them learn others like easier, or they have natural behaviors that they do that I like to put on cue. So, oh, thank you for the comment, Dawn. I am so happy to have Patty back. We actually have some super exciting news regarding her. And she's going to be coming to Idaho, and I'm so excited. So we're going to be able to do live videos together, and yeah, I'm super excited. But I'm really glad that you've learned a lot from our website. That is definitely the idea. What have you fed now? So she had breakfast of just the BirdTricks diet this morning. How long is the training? We try to keep training less than 5 minutes. But really, it's reading the bird's body language. You want to end while your bird is still excited and enjoying the training, and not let your bird end the session every time. Because then you can really get into overtraining. So, yeah. So Cressi, tell us where Cressi came from, how you chose her, etc. Is actually Dave. Dave was on a business trip in Las Vegas with Chet. And we had been talking about getting an African gray, and the right situation just kind of hadn't come up. And I didn't know if Dave was totally on board. We both knew that we wanted to free fly, and we had decided on an African gray. We just didn't know when we were going to start. And he went to some battery shop, and it was literally used car batteries and a pet shop. And they had Cressi in this small cage with another gray, I want to say. And they had forgotten to clip her wings. I think she was 3 or 4 months old, and they meant to clip her wings, but they had forgotten for some reason. And Dave was like, no way. So he bought her right away and was just like, do not clip her wings. She was perfect at the fledging age and everything. So yeah, we got her out of there, but the way he describes the story was really horrible. It was like a wall of used car batteries that separated you from the birds that were for sale from the birds that were breeding. So yeah, I don't know if that place is still in business. JINX. ROCKO. Oh my gosh, ROCKO would be a total mess in here. Bandit. Oh my gosh, you guys are not saying the same birds at all. The hormonal thing, Cressi is just extremely hormonal, and not in an aggressive way, just in this way. Yeah, you guys can see what she's doing, right? She's totally into this perch. You can see the tail kind of going back and forth. So, yeah, as long as I ignore it, it's not like it's escalating, but I probably should put her away just because it's, who knows if it's me doing it. But yeah, if you, one of Cressi's hormonal triggers is if you blow air in her face, she gets extremely horny. It's weird. I like to put on cue to thank you for the comments. I'm so happy to have time, actually. Super excited. Love your videos. Thank you, Rhonda. I have one talking. Sorry, I'm just reading your guys' comments, trying to catch up. Any tips for a male gray not going back into its cage for me, but goes in for my wife? So Daniel, I don't think he's trying to display dominance. I think it's just a preference. So the birds that kind of like Dave a little bit more than me are more likely to do things for him than they are for me, and vice versa. The birds that like me are more likely to let me get away with making mistakes. They're more tolerant with me and things like that, whereas they're less tolerant with him. So I would say you're just gonna have to work harder. So your bird's kind of picked your wife, and for you, you're gonna have to use tips and tricks to get your bird back in its cage. So use target training. The biggest thing with birds is they need to feel like it's their decision, like they're making the decision, and you just have to help encourage them come to that decision, even though it was you getting them there. So target training is a great way. Having a certain cue, or just spacing it around meal times is super easy. So if it's like time for your bird's dinner, of course it's going to want to go back in its cage. So just show that the dinner or the treat is there, and then they're more likely to go back. Just make it as easy as possible. So it's really pretty simple for parrots. Bondi or Bandit, ROCKO, JINX. Okay, that seems to be it's all between those. Oh, Bandit. How old is she? Cressi is 9 years old. ROCKO, would you please tell me what to do when my Pinus screams calling me? He is so loud. Patricia, for screaming birds, what I like to do, I know a lot of people say ignore it, but oh my Lord, that's really like easier said than done. I would train your bird to talk, because then it will start to talk for your attention instead of scream, which I find way more endearing. So if I'm spending time with like one of the other birds in the aviaries, Bandit will literally go, baby boy, hey Band-Aid, baby boy, I love you. And he will just like talk up a storm to get my attention. And I think that's freaking adorable. So Cressi, on the other hand, she's not as much into talking, but she'll whistle and stuff. And I prefer whistling and talking over screaming. So I would do a replacement behavior and teach that to your bird. So yeah, screaming sucks. Does she become more nippy when hormonal? No, she's not more nippy. Like I said, she's not aggressive at all. She's just horny. I feel so awkward talking about it. But yeah, she's just super horny. I remember the first time she displayed hormonal behavior was when she was literally 1 year old. And I was like, this is way too early for this. What's going on? And it was when, I don't know how many of you are familiar with our Parrot Magic newsletters, but in our newsletters we teach one trick that is unique in each newsletter. And so for a trick, we got one of those what are they called? They're like doggy poop bag holders, but it's a fire hydrant. And we thought, oh, it would be really cute if we put this fire hydrant down on a table and the bird walked over and like lifted its leg on the fire hydrant. We're like, that would be adorable. So we taught it to Bondi for Parrot Magic, and we were just like, we love it. Let's teach Cressi next. And she took the fire hydrant and had her way with it. And we were just like, that was not part of the plan. And then any object or prop we gave her, she would just go to town on. And we were just like, okay, prop training is not for Cressi. So that was like the first experience we had. And I was like, she's too young to be doing this. So she does not get like mean or anything. It's just, she just gets really hormonal. So yeah. Could you tell us a little how to start using a harness? So the main thing with the harness is to associate it positively. You just have to really make it not scary. I actually need to upload a video from Claudia. She just is like loving on her bird and slowly putting the harness on and giving treats. And that is really the way to do it if you can. And then once it's on, you can either take it immediately off so they don't think they have to wear it forever, or you can leave it on for a while until they kind of leave it alone, or preen around it so that it's nice and comfortable. Give lots of jackpot rewards. It's just all about making it positive, because harnesses can be like deemed scary and all that. And it's just a trick. It's like another trick training thing. So yeah, it's really important they understand that's a behavior you're asking. So another thing for ROCKO. Bandit. Oh lordy. See, ROCKO and Dave. So Dave is at the store. He is, I'm laughing at this toddlers and husbands comment. We are trying to make space for Patty and her birds. And so I opened the garage today to take out the trash and stuff. And I kid you not, all of the doves like flew as close to the opening of the garage as possible and just started like putting their wings out and sunbathing. So we're gonna try to figure out a way to make it so that they can be outside in our aviaries, and then we can make more space for Patty's birds in our garage. And so Dave went to go get some plastic and some outdoor, maybe like a heat lamp or something, so that we can try to figure out a way to do it, because we don't have time to really like acclimate them. So I want to make sure that they don't change temperatures. So we're trying to figure out a way to get them outside. So when we figure it out, I'll share it with you guys. But they seem super excited about the idea. As long as we can keep it warm, I think it'll be good. And then slowly acclimate them to the proper temperature. But today it got so sunny and so nice that I literally left the garage open for like an hour and everybody was loving it. So yeah, we're going to try to figure that out. So that's where Dave is right now. Let's see. I'm just reading the comments. JINX. Did I have JINX out yesterday? Yeah, I did. So maybe I should change it up, but he is like the fluffiest, sweetest guy since I got back. So we don't actually have any lovebirds. Let's see. I rescued a 20-year-old gray a few days ago. Advice on getting her to step up. I've tried offering a treat in the other hand, but it hasn't worked yet. So Kelly, the whole thing with being able to use treats is that your bird is actually hungry enough to want the treat. One, the treat has to be super high value. So our birds, they eat veggies in the morning, pellets at night. Treats are high value because they don't see them that often unless they're getting foraging or something. So the treat really has to be high value. The second thing is that your bird needs to be on the proper diet to use a treat that is high value. So I would work on that first, and then try offering the treat and try working before meals. So Cressi is just being really awesome right now, but she's actually already eaten. But usually I would do a training session before breakfast. Here I was just kind of showing you some of the stuff she knows after breakfast, because they're more likely to do the stuff they already know. But if I was working on training or something new, I would definitely want to work before a meal. So hope that helps. And our cookbook and our pellets are all available on like the front page of our website. So that's kind of the diet that we recommend and that we feed our birds. That's funny. Curtis says, my gray is the same. He's actually nicer to people when he's hormonal around them. So it can be a challenge not to reinforce it. Yeah, for sure. Like the fact that she's using an object to do her thing, like that's fine. She's not using me. So it's natural. It's natural for all beings, so we're just gonna leave it at that. Let's see. My Amazon's 12 years old. I raised him since he was born, but these past 2... What the? Hey, Messerton. Oh, hey, cutie. Wow, I lost my... This is so distracting. These past 2 years, he's been aggressive to me. Have you ever encountered this problem with some, especially Amazon? Male Amazons, yeah, especially when they're hormonal, those guys freak me out. It's like male cockatoos and male Amazons freak me out when they are hormonal. I would rather be around maybe a hormonal lion. Okay, I'm so distracted. I can't even remember the question. So basically, Martine, what I would recommend is going back to like trick training, because it's bond building and he's aggressive for some reason or another, but that'll help bridge your communication and help you guys get back on the right track. So trick training isn't so much about the tricks as it is just the time, the quality of time that you spend with your bird and the communication that you build with them and just the bonding. It's like taking your kid out to do something fun, like going bowling or something. That quality time means a lot more than both sitting in the same room doing something separately. So it's just really important to, where are you going? Oh my goodness. You're the sweetest. Oh my gosh, for attention, Petrie says, I'm human, let me out. And why are you ignoring me? That is adorable. What would you recommend as a treat for an African gray? So we personally use pine nuts, but the best way to do it is how we demonstrate in One Day Miracles, where you take like a tray or something and you put all sorts of treats. So you could put pieces of almond, pieces of walnut, sunflower seeds, millet, pine nuts, you know, just those sorts of things, like variety, banana chips, and see which ones your bird goes to first, second, and third, and those are like your top rewards. Let's see. dirty girl. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not gonna read that comment out loud. It just makes me feel dirty. Yeah, Cressi gives long kisses on the cheek. She's actually trained to literally rest her beak like on your cheek or even in your ear sometimes for pictures that we do after the show with people. So Clinton says, so should I feed veggies once a day? Yeah, we do like a chop mix. It's called the BirdTricks diet. It changes seasonally with what's in season. But that's what our birds get. It's you use a food processor and you make the veggies all different textures and everything. And it's just super good for them. It's really dense and they only get like a tablespoon in the morning. And then their night meal is pellets. So yeah, that's what I recommend. That's what we do. Whoa. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with all your guys' comments. I don't think there is an age where they no longer get hormonal, but I would have to ask Patty that. She would probably know that more than me. I'm not sure that that quite works like humans, though, if that's what you're thinking. I have a male military macaw with a bad history of abuse. I've had him for 6 years, and he's coming around, but what other things can I do to gain his trust? So I would recommend doing things like putting happy on cue, clicking for content on cue, so anything that he does that's really content, yawning, preening, resting on one foot, you know, when they get like fluffed up and they just look super happy where they are, clicking and rewarding for that, doing trick training because that will build the bond between the two of you. Keeping an eye on you because my laptop is right here, so don't want any keys to go missing. How do your birds feel about feet? Okay, so Linus, who Dave had in the beginning, used to freak me out. It felt like a shark was on the floor. And he never got my feet, but it's just like a body language thing where you're like, I don't feel so good about this situation. So, and I've known some people's birds to be kind of like creepy about feet. So I always keep my feet elevated or happily secure in boots with birds on the ground, and I don't really expose my feet to birds. I'm not into that. I'm not comfortable with it at all. Yeah, you guys are gonna find I'm a wuss. I avoid bad situations or situations I think will turn bad. So that's me. Yeah. Yeah, I've joked to Patty that that she should do like a Cockatoo Chronicles thing, kind of like One Day Miracles, but it's only cockatoos and it's Cockatoo Chronicles and she's the expert and she goes in and I was like, and I'll film, but I'm gonna be in like a full mask helmet and like knee pads. So yeah, that's me. Have your birds ever plucked feathers when they are hormonal? When my cockatiel wants to breed, she starts plucking her feathers under her wings. I've heard of that a lot. I mainly hear about it with eclectus parrots, but no, luckily our birds have not. I feel like I should knock on wood right now. That's probably fake wood, but whatever. Our birds luckily have not, but I have heard it's fairly common, unfortunately. So yeah, but there's a lot of super subtle hormonal triggers that people are unaware of, like mushy foods and warm foods and things like that. And so if you're just aware of that and you can eliminate them as much as possible, it helps. But I mean, you guys, it's natural for birds to be hormonal. We get hormonal, so hopefully not as much or as often in public, but you know, it happens. It happens. Let me try to point this down so you guys can see her better. I have this handy dandy, what's it called? Tripod now because Rachel got it for me. So I'm finally figuring out the little nuances of it and it's been really awesome. Super happy with it. This is Masterton Cresserton.
Could you help me open these packages?
Sure. You want to bring them in here?
Sure.
With,
A knife?
no, I was thinking those small scissors from the kitchen.
Mom, I just got out a knife.
You did?
Yes.
How sharp is it? Which one did you get?
The fishy one?
Ooh, no. Actually, I think I could probably open them without a knife. You want to just bring them in here?
Yeah,
I'll try. So no, we don't save feathers. A lot of people tell me we should. No. We used to. We were doing like, this lady really liked them and wanted them. And so we were just giving them to her. But no, I did one year and Capri and I made Christmas ornaments with them, which was really, really cool. So if I have a purpose, I'll start saving them. But no, I don't save them otherwise. Although, do you still have COMET's feather? That really big one?
Yes.
Do you want to bring it in here to show them? This is like one feather we've saved, and really it's just Capri saving it. She's had it in her room for days. So, yeah, let me make sure I didn't.
I never get this away.
You can never give it away? Yeah, let me show it. Oh, okay. This is Comet's feather. He molted a while ago. It's one of his tail feathers. You can't tell how long it is. So Capri's been holding on to this. But usually we don't really keep anything. Right? And Capri calls the like really small head feathers of Cressi, she calls them baby feathers. Super cute. No, that's mine. And it's probably cold because I forgot about it. Yep,
Hey, Mom.
cold. Yeah?
I gotta get a knife.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Even the
Any foods or processed to improve feather health. So that's all in that BirdTricks diet. That's what will really improve feather health. And then also, ooh, keyboard. Also frequent bathing and then natural sunlight will also help. Oh, thanks. Okay. I have been selling her feathers on eBay. Wow, sweet. I didn't know people could do that. All right, let me help the kiddo real quick.
That one's super heavy.
Super heavy. Let me see who these are for. Well, they're for me. Let me see this one. And this one's for me. Yeah.
Let's see what this is.
Oh, a new wallet. You want to open that?
A new wallet?
Yeah, because mine has all that stuff on it that I can't get off. And I'm just going to cut this open and then you can do it.
What the heck, Cressi? You want to open this?
She wants to know what you have.
Why?
Because I think she thinks you have like a bag of treats because she's offering head shake. It's not treats, Cressi. It's not treats.
Wait a second. I don't think this is
Just
a
put all
wallet.
Sorry guys, I lost you there for a bit. So I don't know that I could get Cressi to say anything right now. Cressi.
Get her to
say
wave.
I did have her wave for them, but they want her to talk. As for advice on restoring feather growth, it's the same thing. It's like the diet, the bathing, the sunlight, all that good stuff. We have a really good blog post. It's called Feather Destructive Behaviors, like tips for feather destructive behaviors on our blog, which is at birdtricksstore.com. And if you put that into the search engine, there's a really, really good blog post on that by Patty. So, sorry, let me go back and see what ones I missed. So, how do you train your bird for free flight? I want to take my baby macaws. But so scared they will get lost. Yeah, so free flight is super in-depth. I mean, the last free flight student, which was this one in Hawaii, we worked with for 9 months. It was intense. And a lot of it just depends on the trainer and how receptive you are and how quickly you get it and implement and do your homework. So there's no like straight answer of how you teach free flight. One of the biggest things is just teaching the skills indoors first. So we have a flight training course. If you search flight training, it's part of our Parrot Magic, and that's our flight training course for indoors. And if you implement that and contact us and send us video of what your bird's doing, we'll consider doing outdoor flight and like coaching on outdoor flight. But we do offer an outdoor flight course, but it's $5,000. So yeah, we only take super committed, serious people. It is a lot of work, it's a lot of training, and it's a lifestyle. So you don't just like train it and you're done. There's maintenance too. You have to keep up on the training. You have to keep your bird in really good shape. To be safe, you have to scout locations properly. You have to get to know your natural, like, native wildlife, so that as much as you know your parrot, so you can be safe. Thanks, kiddo.
Yeah, check the inside. It's all blue.
Really?
Yes.
I'll check it out. Oh, yeah. I like it.
Yeah, and it also has a zipper on.
Thanks for opening it for me.
Yeah, it has tag is really tricky to come off.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what else. There's a lot of things that we teach. I think it's all in the indoor course, but there's certain habits that people create unknowingly or accidental reinforcers during flight training. You need to teach your bird to come the first time you call it, not the 10th time, or not whenever it wants. You also need to teach the bird to come back to your hand, not just like the area that you're in. You also need to teach your bird that you're not going to come rescue it. So if it crashes or miscalculates and lands on a couch on accident instead, you don't run over and pick it up and say like, oh, good job, are you okay? Like, if the bird is obviously okay and it's not like bleeding or evidently hurt, it's really important you teach a bird indoors that you're not just going to come and go to it, because if you plan on taking it outside and it's on a cliff or high in a tree and it's like, oh, I can't figure it out, come get me, and you've conditioned your bird that you always go get it, that's a problem for outside. So you really need to teach your bird to come to you. So not rescuing is the thing. Clinton, why is the class so expensive? Because the class is at least 3 months long. It takes 3 months for us to free flight train a bird. This last time it took 9 months, and that's a really, really long time. And when you expand the $5,000 out through however long it takes, we had a macaw or a cockatoo take 6 months. It's really not that much money, especially when we're at your beck and call. We're constantly in contact with you every day. We give you weekly homework. You just have us to consult with constantly. So it's expensive because when we first got into free flight, we wanted everyone to do it so badly that we offered it for free. And when we did that, we found that people didn't value our time or our knowledge. And many of them just dropped out when they realized it actually took work. So for me, I'm a chick, so I'm emotional, and I get emotionally invested in not only the clients, but mostly their birds. And so when people would enroll in the course and then drop out, or they wouldn't take it seriously or put in the work, I would find myself getting really upset and kind of heartbroken, because I would be on this high of such excitement for the bird and what they were about to endeavor on and what they were about to achieve. And then when they would stop, it would just devastate me. And I would be so bummed out for what the bird was going to be missing out on. And I just can't put myself through that. So I need people that are 100% committed. And we found with our $5,000 price tag, the people are committed. They don't ever drop out. They see it through to the end. They do the homework. They do what we ask and what we say. They just put in the work, and they value our time. And that's just all the difference in the world. So that's why the huge price tag, and you get both Dave and I. So yeah, if you guys followed our last client, Claudia, I posted a lot of our consult type videos online on our YouTube to kind of show what I was going through with her and certain tips that I thought would help other people. And so you can see how one-on-one we are, and how often we'll demonstrate something with our own bird and send it to the client to just better explain everything that we're talking about, because sometimes words can only describe so much. So most parrots live around, like, I think macaws can live between 80 and 100 years, but it really depends. Some of the mid-sized parrots are more like 30 to 50. They're all a little bit different, but long time pretty much is the overall answer for all of them. So yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna go here because I think my kiddo's lost her patience. so yeah, thank you guys for tuning in and requesting Cressi. They all requested you and wanted you. I'm glad she got over her horniness throughout this video. As you can see, it stopped. So yay for ignoring hormones.
She looks adorable.
She does, right?
She kind of looks like a parrot dove.
Parrot dove?
Like she's like our other birds, but not a dove, but she looks like a cute dove.
Yeah. so yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll do more later. And please check out the page today. I've uploaded a ton of our Hawaii free flight videos, and they're super fun. So if I do say so myself, not as awesome editing as Dave does, but I do my best. See you guys.